Welcome learners to this session on applications of blockchain technology. Myself, Dr. A. Murliyam Rao, the Director of Computer Division, Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi. This session is on blockchain technology and its applications. The talk is precisely on what is a blockchain technology, what are various features of blockchain technology, types of blockchain technology, application areas of blockchain technology, and issues and challenges, and followed by concluding message. Learners, we all know that the blockchain technology is the emerging area at present, especially in the era of mainly to ensure security. Though various security technologies are there in the past, some way or the other, those security technologies are even though better but still have some limitations. Because of it, the hackers and attackers are playing a vital role to distract these systems and services. So, the blockchain technology is a new emerging technology, especially to have secure access and ensure the privacy. As we know that the blockchain technology and its importance, nowadays everywhere, more or less every sensitive area, wherever the sensitive transactions are going to happen, it requires secure access and security too, where the volume of issue is very sensitive. So, in such cases, we need highly secure technologies. So, that is why now the blockchain technology came into the picture. So, let us see that what it is. Blockchain technology is a digital ledger of chronically stored records. It means that, for example, take even a banking industry, for example, a customer is there, a customer has a savings bank account or different types of account, for example. So, the digital ledger of chronically stored records means that whatever the customer does the transaction, maybe depositing the amount, withdrawing the amount, or doing some kind of fixed deposits, whatever transaction the customer is doing, we call it as different transactions. But in a blockchain, when we talk about blockchain technology, all these transactions are chronically stored in form of a record. So, that is why blockchain technology is a digital ledger of chronically stored records. It contains a history of all past transactions that have taken place. It is a type of distributed ledger technology, we call it as a DLT, that has a decentralized database maintained by several computers. In this context, a node joined into a network. Once the transaction data is approved, it cannot be changed or tampered. Any modification to existing data has to be made through the execution of a new transaction. This creates an immutable system with very high security. So, that is why the importance or the significance of blockchain technology is that it ensures more security for any transaction which has been happened. And another is that once the transaction is approved, it is highly difficult either to tamper or to change the transaction. Suppose if some modification to be done, again it is to be made through execution of in form of a new transaction. That is why any system implemented with blockchain technology is going to be a immutable system with a high level of security. The blockchain is a continuous growing list of records, we call as electronic ledger and also a block. See, block means that say a group of records. So, growing continuously, that is why it is a continuously growing list of records, that we call it as electronic ledger, or we call it as a block. Blocks are linked secure using cryptography. Learners, you know that cryptography is again a technology where to encrypt the data while traveling, while traversing, or even in store, correct. So, what will happen that even though a hacker or attacker steal the data, because if it is in encryption mode or encrypted mode, it is very difficult to decrypt unless the person knows that the decryption key. So, that is why the blocks are linked secure using cryptography. Why it is more secure means that, so one is that so using each and every block means that group of records. So each block is linked secure using cryptography. And what a block contains? The block contains a hash pointer linked to the previous block. And the second component is a digital timestamp and the transaction data. Just for understanding purpose, block means that one is a hash pointer, means that it is a key which is linked or which connected to the previous block. Say for example, if we are talking about block number 2, the hash pointer of block number 2 will be linked to block 1, that is called the previous block. Similarly, a block number of a block n linked to the hash pointer of block n linked to the block n minus 1. And second is a digital timestamp. It means that what or when a particular block has been created. Timestamp means that in which day, which time, and even on which computer, its IP address, like that. The once a block has been created, its digital stamp will be recorded. So that's a block. Second component of the block is the digital timestamp. Means timestamp is nothing but the details of a block in terms of when the block has been created, when and what time and which computer, or otherwise even through which IP, like that. All required information will be recorded in form of timestamp. And main thing is that transaction data, apart from hash pointer and digital timestamp, so then ultimately the transaction data, the block is mainly for a data, but the first two are hash pointer and digital timestamp are required for to ensure its significance and also to ensure secure access and other things. And blockchain means that chain of blocks contain information. It is a distributed ledger open to anyone. See learners, as I told you that so block contains mainly a hash pointer linked to previous block and digital timestamp and transaction data. So that is a block contains. But blockchain means that group of or list of blocks linked together. That is why blockchain is a chain of blocks contain information along with the digital timestamp and hash pointer. and is a distributed ledger open to anyone. The blockchain ensures shared ledger, smart contract, privacy and validation. The first application of blockchain is Bitcoin. So learners, I hope you all aware of the Bitcoin. So because which is highly secure, means that Bitcoin can be processed with a high secure access. That's why the Bitcoin is the first application of the blockchain. Learners, please see that the diagrammatic view of blockchain. See that it is a different blocks or how they are connected each other. Just for an example or understanding purpose, how a blockchain contains. So each block, see that how it is in a 3D view and see that how they are linked together. So once we talk about a block, what block contains means that suppose see for example see the second block for example. So the second block has a hash pointer which points are linked to the previous block and it's a timestamp when a particular block has been created and the exact data of that particular transaction. So this gives some kind of understanding by seeing that how a blockchain is. The key features of blockchain technology. So why blockchain technology is an emerging area and why it has its own significance? Because of its transparency, its security, its encryption, deintermediation and immutability. So these are all the key features of blockchain technology. So transparency means that the transactions are stored on all computers in the network and can be viewed by all members in a network. As I told you that blockchain means that a group of users are connected within a network, correct? So whatever transaction is happening, that should happen in a transparent way. That's why the transactions are stored on all computers in the network, because the network of computers and can be viewed by all the members in the network. And security, second feature is that security. The distributed nature of blockchain makes it very hard to tamper with its records, making it highly resistant to cyber attacks. That's why see, of course, security is a continuous process. One cannot say that 100% secure, but however, by enforcing various key parameters, definitely we can ensure its security, correct? So the distributed nature of blockchain makes it very hard to tamper with its records. Why? Because in a blockchain the data is stored in form of a block, and block contains as that previous slide I told you that a block contains a hash pointer which connected to the previous block, so that tampering is very difficult unless to know about what is the previous block. Once we go to the previous block, again it has again a chain of further previous block. So it is very difficult or very hard to tamper with the records, making it highly resistant to the cyber attacks. Maybe in future definitely, because as I told you that the hackers and attackers always try, the system administrators or network administrators always try to protect the system, but when we talk about hackers, always try to find a loophole how to break the security. So it's a continuous process, but at present by keeping its features, the blockchain technology is more secure. And third feature is encryption. So all transaction data stored in blockchain is encrypted to protect the data and privacy of a user. So that is one of the important or key features of the blockchain technology. Whatever data in form of a transaction, in form of a block, the data is fully encrypted. So once it is encrypted, so it is not, even though it is tampered, the data is not in a plain text mode, it is in encryption mode. Unless it is decrypted, then only one can know what the data contains. So that's why the encryption is another important key feature of blockchain technology. And another is that the disintermediation, the peer-to-peer nature of the network allows many applications to run without the help of intermediaries or the integration of third party services. It means that there is no need of a third party integration. See, for example, take in for example in a traditional financial transaction, suppose if you would like to make a one some payment, transfer some money, even though if you make some transaction, first it goes to third party, then they will see access and give a permission, then only it will the transaction will be completed. But in a blockchain technology, so this intermediation, it means that there is no need of third party services. Directly it can be, the cycle can be completed or the transaction can be successfully executed. And the last one is that immutability. Once data is entered in the blockchain, it is very difficult to modify or delete. And why? Because as I told you that each and every block is linked to other blocks, so that unless to know the previous block and its timestamp and its that hash pointer, it's very difficult. So these are all some of the key features of blockchain technology. Once again, I will tell you that one is the transparency, security, encryption, disintermediation, and immutability. Let us just see that to know about types of blockchains. Always there are different types like a public blockchain, private blockchain, and hybrid blockchain. Just know precisely about what it. Public blockchain is one in which anyone can join and participate. Anyone can be a user or a miner, and anybody can add new blocks. It ensures transparency in public blockchain network. It is also called permissionless, as it permits anyone to take a copy of the blockchain and involve in block validation. So the example for a blockchain, public blockchain is the Bitcoin. It means that in a public blockchain, any user, anybody can enter, be as a part of the network. So that's why we call it as a public blockchain. Is a one in which anyone can join and participate. So this is a public block. Right now, I think still learners, I hope you are also have some experience of using a Bitcoins, processing of a Bitcoin. So you mean that you are in a public blockchain. Why? Because the first application of blockchain is a Bitcoin. So Bitcoin comes under the public blockchain. Now, private blockchain is a permissioned blockchain suitable for individual organizations. It means that it is not open to public, it is a restricted. Organization decide who is allowed to participate and maintain a shared ledger. So, unless public blockchain, but here it is a restricted, that is why it is a permissioned blockchain. It means that it won't allow anyone can just join that. So it is generally mostly a particular organization has certain suppose few number of branches. So in such case only those people to participate. So in such case the private blockchain comes into the picture. So private blockchain is a permission blockchain suitable for a individual organizations. Organization decides who is allowed to participate and maintain a shared ledger. It means that it is a controlled access. The example is that Hyperledger is an example to the private blockchain. Learners, the third one is that hybrid, or also called consortium blockchain, is a permission blockchain where several organizations take responsibility for maintaining the blockchain. Has a privacy benefits of private blockchain and the transparent nature of public blockchain. So a Dragon chain is an example. It means that is a combination of private and public blockchain. So let's see that the table shows that in a concise manner that the public, private and hybrid. In terms of feature, so user access in a public blockchain is a public means that anyone can access, but private blockchain is a restricted, hybrid blockchain also restricted. Once you talk about user identity, so anonymous but approved users and approved user in both. Permission status, the first one public blockchain is a permissionless, but remaining two are private and hybrid are permissioned required, correct? And see the technologies used in blockchain. So private cryptography, peer-to-peer network, and the program. The program we called as the blockchain's protocol. Need not go in detail technically, but just for understanding purpose. As I told you that what a block contains. A block contains, so one is the hash pointer, point to the previous block, the timestamp, and the actual data. So the technologies used in blockchain are private cryptography, that is for encryption of the data, peer-to-peer network. It means that to have some secure connectivity and program means that the blockchain protocol, it means that it allows to do all the transactions with the guidelines, and so these are all technology used in blockchain at a nutshell. Now learners just see that some of the application areas of blockchain technology. See, what I would like to say here is that security is a major concern. Once any organization or institution going to offer their digital services are in form of whatever for their business processes, always there is a security concern. So any organization, any business applications which are more sensitive in nature, vulnerable in nature, in such case, so security is utmost priority. So where by keeping the features of blockchain technology in mind as a transparency, security, and all other things, so that blockchain at present is a prominent technology to ensure secure access of data or a system or even a transaction. So some of the application areas, but not limited to. So financial services, blockchain technology can be used in financial services, education, healthcare, insurance, smart cities, energy management, management of supply chain, protection of copyright and royalties, electronic voting, and the Internet of Things. These are all some listed application areas, but not limited, because as I told you that whichever the business processes requires high security, so better go for a blockchain technology to ensure secure access. Let's see that I will just highlight few of the things. When we talk about blockchain technology in financial services, so factoring, letters of credit, we call it as LCs, cryptocurrency, investment management, cross-border transactions, trade finance, capital markets, and these are all some of the transactions, some of the things to be done under financial services. So where generally financial services are the sensitive in nature, where high security is needed, because more the hackers will pay more attention ultimately for a financial gain. So that's why financial services requires the blockchain technology to ensure secure access of financial systems and services as listed. Now see that the blockchain technology in education too, for secure financial transactions. So it means that even in any academic institution, see almost the business processes in an academic institution means that the admission, the pre-examination, examination, post-examination. So these are all, once we talk about a student learning life cycle, so these are all some of the phases. So in a system of education. So definitely for wherever the financial transaction like a fee collection or maybe for a fee collection for admission, fee collection for examination, fee collection for degree certificate and so on. Even money, salaries to the its employees, payment to the vendors, all these are nothing but the financial transaction to be done. So again, to ensure secured financial transaction in education, also the blockchain technology is very essentially needed. And to improve, another one is that another is that improve record keeping the student data during learning life cycle and learners assessment and certificates, employee data and performance during tenure period, university assets and resources. These are all where record keeping is needed, which requires security. So that's why to ensure improve recording with more security. So the blockchain is technology is very essential even to implement in education sector. Easy to retrieve data, increase efficiency in existing business processes and create a new market for digital assets. So these are all some of the areas where blockchain technology can be used in education field. Similarly, blockchain technology in healthcare like e-health record system, medical fraud detection system, clinical research, pharmaceutical industry research, neuroscience and so on. So main thing is that to ensure effective record keeping without any tampering, that is more important. See, for example, even a patient health record is a very essential. Suppose to diagnose the health condition of a particular person even for future. So that's why, so wherever the secure access is and highly record keeping is needed, so compulsory blockchain technology come into the picture. So blockchain technology in healthcare supports e-health record system, medical fraud detection system, clinical research, pharmaceutical industry research and neuroscience. Even you can see that blockchain technology in insurance too, event triggered smart contract, increased back-end efficiency, disintermediation, better pricing and risk assessment, new types of insurance reaching the undeserved. So it means that in insurance sector also lot of chances for a risk and another to tampering the thing. So for that insurance sector is also one of the prominent sector where blockchain technology is essentially needed for a effective record keeping as well as for a secure access. And even energy management also, energy sector also blockchain technology can be used for energy trading, demand side response, decentralized generation, grid flexibility, electronic vehicle charging, IoT applications, green certificates and carbon trade. So these are all which requires highly secure access and the transactions are also requires high security. That's why the blockchain technology even is very essential in energy sector too. Of course, let us see whatever we talk about the merits of technology, always there is the second side. Just like technology has two phases. So the first phase is but the application areas, but the second is that always limitations. So limitation of blockchain technology. So high cost and effort to make the transition. It means that because it is highly secure and which is very costly in nature in terms of implementing these technologies. So we have to decide that which part of business transactions can be required to be used with blockchain technology. Why? Because see the sensitivity, so accordingly, so we have to decide that the implementation of blockchain technology, because just for a dissemination of information, there are, suppose certain organizations are there only just to disseminate some information. In such case, there is no point of implementing blockchain technology in such application. So that's why, because it is very high cost and also complex is also there, so we have to plan while implementing blockchain technology this kind of a distinction. So one of the limitations of blockchain technology is high cost and effort to make the transition happen. running costs are also more. It means that the recurring expenditure also is more, and scalability and speed of transaction is also a question mark. Why? Because to ensure each and every transaction happening, that is to be encrypted, that is to be a hash pointer to be generated, and it should be linked to the the previous block, then timestamp to be captured, and the entire data of a block is to be encrypted. Means that these are the things to be done. So that's why automatically the speed of the transaction is also a question mark. And scalability is also a question mark, because just like as we are inputting as many speed breakers as possible for to ensure security, definitely it will get slow. But otherwise it requires high computing devices. But anyway, the scalability and speed of the transaction is one of the limitations, and another is that also a skilled human resource is also a big problem. So training, okay, and disintermediation. These are all some of the limitations of blockchain technology. But however, learners, when we talk about, when we see the features of blockchain technology, the application areas of blockchain technology, the assurance of blockchain technology in terms of secure access and storage, definitely the blockchain technology is going to be a prominent secure system to ensure to security of the data of an institution or organization in present, even the near future too. But of course, as I told you that whenever a technology comes that, but especially when we talk about blockchain technology, which is costly in nature, we have to decide that so what type of transaction, what type of business transactions requires the implementation of blockchain technology. There is no need the all transaction, the entire part of business process of the institutional organization is required for implementation of blockchain. Say for example, even an academic institution, for example, so blockchain technology, where out of admissions, pre-examinations, examinations, and the certification, definitely for a question paper delivery, we need that. For conducting online examination is also sensitive, and issue of certificates is also sensitive. So these are some of the areas where blockchain technology in education sector requires implementation of blockchain. So like that, one has to decide that the sensitivity and implement blockchain technology. But of course, these are all some of the limitations. Maybe in near future, I think these limitations also will be overcome. So learners, I would like to conclude this session like blockchain is a new emerging technology to ensure secure, effective, and transparent record keeping with privacy and validation of data or transactions. So learners, just I will recap this. This session, just I highlighted what is a blockchain technology, and what are different types of blockchain technology, what are various features of blockchain technology, what are various application areas of blockchain technology, and what are various limitations of blockchain technology, with a concluding remark. So learners, I hope this session might have enlightened you to know more about blockchain technology. Thank you very much.